Salve ragazzi, sono Giacomo qui ad Italia 500 e questa è la 7ª lezione del corso per principianti online. Yes, it's the 7th lesson of the Italia 500 online beginner 1 course. See? Ragazzi, we've come across this word here before and the word is piacere. Piacere, pleasure. Yes? And we used it when we were doing the introductions. Yes? Quindi Francesco, ti presento, to you I present. Mia sorella, my sister Giovanna. See? And Francesco says piacere, Giovanna says piacere. Pleasure, pleasure. Yes? In the formale, ragazzi, signor Dandy, le presento, to you I present, la signora Virgilio. La signora Virgilio. And we're putting the la there because I'm talking about her. Yes, I'm not addressing her directly. I'm addressing Signor Dandy, so there's no il there. Signor Dandy, le presento la signora Virgilio, and he says piacere, she says piacere back. Pleasure, pleasure. Now that piacere, that pleasure, is simply the short version for this. Piacere di conoscerti. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. That's a literal translation, yes? In English you probably say just pleased to meet you, yes? And piacere di conoscerla. Again, pleasure to make your acquaintance. The English would be, of course, pleased to meet you. But ragazzi, we'll just leave it at piacere, piacere, because that's the most common way of doing it. It's the shorter version rather than the longer version. And we'll leave it at that for the moment, yes? Ragazzi, we also use piacere when you want to say please. Yes, you have per favore, per piacere. Yes, and you can translate those in English which is understandable, as a favor, as a pleasure. Per favore, per piacere, even though literally we're using it per de, which is for pleasure, for favor. Yes, anyway, two ways of saying please. See, ragazzi, piacere, however, can also be used as a verb. Piacere, and you could translate that as to be pleasing. Now I know in English you don't use to be pleasing very much, yes, but this verb here in Italian, piacere, is very, very common, because that's how we say in Italian, I like, do you like, yes, do you like formale, so it's actually quite common. Now ragazzi, I mentioned this before, every object has a name, yes, people have names. So objects and people have names. We're not familiar with the fact that actions also have names. Yes? To go, to eat, to sleep, to arrive. Yes? And in English, when it's the name of an action, you put a to in front of it. Now, when you say to go, you're not telling me who is going or when the person is going. Yes? You're just telling me what the name of the action is. And in the grammar, the name of an action is called the infinitive. In Italian we call it l'infinito. L'infinito. I know I've been through this before, but it's one of those things that you hear it a dozen times before you really remember it, yes? L'infinito. Now ragazzi, piacere is an infinito, abitare is an infinito, prendere is an infinito, partire is l'infinito of the verb, yes, the infinitive of the verb. And what you notice is that in English you put to in front of it, to go, to live, to have, to depart. Yes? In Italian, no. If we see a word which ends in are, or ere, or ire, yes, we know it's l'infinito del verbo. We know it's the infinitive of the verb, the name of the verb. And it's not telling us who lives, yes, and when the person lived, or lives, or will live, wherever. Does that make sense? So we have to change these. And the only reason why we bring this up is because if it's an are verb, it has certain endings, like that. This is the present tense we call this. I live, in the present now. You live. Notice how the he, she, or it, or the you formale has an a there. Whereas the ere verbs, the ones which end in ere, like prendere, which we've done, of course, has the e here. Prende. He, she, or it is having, referring to food or drinks. Prende. So that's why we bring this up. Otherwise, to be honest, we wouldn't bother at all. One more thing very quickly. Sometimes the infinitive of a verb, or l'infinito di un verbo, can actually end in arsi, A-R-S-I. We've come across chiamarsi. Yeah? Don't let that fool you, ragazzi. The fact that there's an si at the end doesn't mean, still means that it is an are verb. That's the a there. See the are, arsi, we replace the e there with the si. That is still an are verb, and it will behave like this. Yes? Sedere, sedersi, to sit oneself, that ersi. I know it looks different from this, but the E are there. The E is still there. So he behaves like these verbs which have the ere ending. And vestirsi is the same. Partire, vestirsi, that I there. The irsi, the I, makes it an ire verb. And as I said, this affects how we conjugate the verb, what endings we put to indicate who we are talking about and when the person is doing something. Does that make sense a bit, ragazzi? We're going to come across this many, many times, so this will gradually sink in. Ragazzi, piacere is an ere verb. Yes? And it's very similar, of course, to prendere. Ere, prendere, it's an ere verb. Now, prendere is perfectly regular. He's behaving perfectly. Yes, that's the pattern, and that applies to the vast, vast, vast majority of ere verbs. That pattern there. Essere is also an ere verb. But see how it's all over the place here? Sono, siamo. If you didn't know that sono belonged to essere, yes, you would never guess just by looking at it. When you take prendo, prendo looks like prendere. It's a shorter version, but they relate to each other. Each of these looks like that. But essere, these do not look like that. And this is very irregular, we call it. Yes, when it's not following a nice pattern, and that's the pattern, we call it irregolare, irregular. It's an irregular verb. See, ragazzi, piacere is also irregolare. But it's not terribly irregolare, see? And I'll show you in just 1 second, ragazzi. Io cancello, ok? Benissimo, ragazzi. Let's actually look at the verb piacere. Or better, let's conjugate the present tense of the verb piacere, yes? Because we want to learn how to say I like and do you like informale and formale. See? Ragazzi, as I said, piacere is slightly irregular, not totally irregular, not like essere. What you do, ragazzi, see in prendere, what we did, I should say, is we cut off the ere. We just cut it off. Yes? And what we're left with, that prend, that's called la radice. La radice, which is the root. And then to the root we add those endings. Yeah, the O if you want to say I'm having, the I if you want to say you are having informale, the E if you are saying you are having formale, and so forth. And we can do the exact same thing with piacere. Yes, you cut off the ere, and what you're left with is piac. Which actually sounds funny in Italian, yes? Because that's not how we say it, of course. Piac. Now, anyway, that's la radice. That's the root, yes? And then to this we have to add the endings. But watch what we do in the case of piacere. We have that piac. Technically, I should simply add the o there, like we did here, and to have I am pleasing, yes? But no. Watch what we do. We add an extra ci, and then we add an I, and then we add the O. Scusate ragazzi, I'm going to write the O in the purple color again. Yes, now I'm putting the trattino there, the trattino, the hyphen, just to show you what endings we will be putting. Does that make sense? Because normally when you're writing this, you don't put the trattino in there. And that's pronounced piaccio, piaccio, piaccio. And the reason, I guess, we introduced the I there, the I, think of Italia when you're thinking of the I in Italian. Italia. The reason we introduced the I is because that E makes it a soft C. Ko, ka, ku, ki, ke, k, chi, che, chi, che. Yes? And you actually don't even hear it that much. The whole point of it is simply to make it a soft C. It's piaccio, 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 not piaccio, piaccio. Yes, can you hear it? You're really not hearing that E. You're not pronouncing that E very clearly. Piaccio. It's just making that a ch sound. Ragazzi, the double C does not affect whether we pronounce it as a ko, ka, ku, ki, ke, chi, or che. The double C does not affect that at all. The double C just means you have to prolong the sound. Yes, you'll hear a gap after it. Piaccio. Can you hear that gap? Piaccio. There's a pause there. Piaccio. Piaccio. As opposed to piaccio. Piaccio. Can you hear the difference? Piaccio as opposed to piaccio. So it's a double C there. Piaccio. Now the fact that we insert a chi, E, is what makes that irregular. Yes? Because normally it would just be pia and then the o. Piacco. But of course it's not regular in this one here. Piaccio. Ragazzi, piaccio literally means I am pleasing. I know what you're thinking. This guy has been drinking. No, I'm not making this up, ragazzi. I'll show you in a moment how we use it, but anyway, we'll come back to that in a moment. Yes, so it's piaccio. And for the U informale, yes, the U are pleasing. Again, we get the piac, but this time we add the I, and that's piaci. Piaci. And that is perfectly regular. Yes, there's no problem there. La radice, and we add the I, like we do here, perfectly regular. Yes, and that's you are pleasing. Informale, informal. Yes, informale, and I'll come back to this in a moment. See, ragazzi, the formale. Again, we get the piac, but this time we add e. Piace. Piace, yes, and it's perfectly regular, non c'è problema, affatto. Piace, you are pleasing. Formale. Yes? And the formale is always the same as the he, she, or it, or it's actually the other way around. The he, she, or it is always used also for the formale. So again, we get the piac, we add the e, and it's pronounced piace. Piace, and that means he, she, or it is pleasing. He, she, or it is pleasing. See? And for the we, see how it's radice plus iamo, prendiamo. Same thing. Piacciamo. Oh, no, ragazzi, it's different because we put an extra C there. So it's piacciamo. Piacciamo. So he's slightly irregular there. You add the extra C and it's piacciamo. Piacciamo. If you don't add that extra C, it's piacciamo. Piacciamo. But this one here is piacciamo. You pause on that double C there. Piacciamo. See? And that means we are pleasing. And I know what you're thinking. When are we going to go around saying this sort of stuff? Yes, you'll see in a moment. Piacciamo. And then this one here is piacete. Piacete. Perfettamente regolare. It's perfectly regular. Perfectly regular. And that's you are pleasing. Si. Piacete. Piacete. And the last one there, ragazzi, you get the piac, but then we have to add an extra chi, and we have to add an I, because at the end we want to put ono, yes? And then we add the ono. And that's pronounced piacciono. 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 Pause on that C. If you don't put the I there, it becomes piaccono. Piacciono. And that means that they are pleasing. Questo è plurale. And this one here is they are pleasing. Piacciono. Piacciono. Now ragazzi, I am pleasing, you are pleasing formale, yes? It's a bit bizarre. We are pleasing. Yes, you can go around saying saying just this one here. Piaccio. Which is like saying, of course, I am pleasing. It's like saying I am liked. Yes, piaccio, piaccio. See, it's quite bizarre. You can do it, of course, if you want to. We sometimes tell students, ragazzi, if you have a bit of low self-esteem, just go to the mirror in the bathroom and just look at the mirror and say piaccio, piaccio 20 times, and it makes you feel so much better. Yes. So then we're just using the piaccio by itself, and you're saying, I am pleasing. Basically, I am liked by people in general, yes? You can do the same thing in the plural, piacciamo. You can go, you and your friend, to a nightclub and just go around saying, piacciamo, piacciamo. They'll kick you out of the nightclub, but that's okay. Ragazzi. Okay, so you can use it like that if you're game enough, yes? Now, how we actually use this verb, this piacere, to be pleasing, it's something interesting. You can use it, of course, on its own, as we just showed you. But normally, you put something with it, yes? Now, you're probably not familiar with this yet. When you're growing up, as you're growing up, you learn your verbs, of course, yes? But you also learn how to use them. Yes. So for instance, when you're learning the verb to give, yes, to give, you also learn that you give something to someone. Yes. So you're learning what you normally put after it. Yes. In Italian, it's the same. We learn it's dare, and the something is qualcosa, which we had in qualcosa da bere or qualcosa da mangiare. Remember from the cafe lesson? Dare qualcosa a qualcuno. Yes, you give something to someone. Capito, ragazzi? And the same thing when you're saying to eat. Yes, unless you're a cannibal, you eat something. Yes, and the same thing in Italian, it's mangiare. Qualcosa. Yes, you eat something. And this will come back to this many, many times, yes? You'll understand why we come back to it many times. Ragazzi, for instance, with presentare, qualcuno, yes? You present someone a qualcuno. You present someone to someone, yes? So you need a to someone with that one there. Presentare qualcuno a qualcuno. Does that make sense? So ragazzi, that's how you start learning your verbs. You start learning what to put after the verbs and so forth. With piacere, ragazzi, which is to be pleasing, what would you put after that? I know it's not used very often anyway in English. I don't hear many people saying it a lot. But if you had to put something after it, what would you put? No, scherzo, ragazzi. To be pleasing to someone. See, to be pleasing to someone. It's the same in Italian. It's piacere a qualcuno. You need to put a to someone there. See, you don't have to. Yes, you can just go around saying, piaccio, I am liked or I am pleased. Yes, or piacciamo, we are pleasing. We are pleasing or we are liked. Yes. But if you want to put something after it, if you want to put it together with something, it would probably be with a to someone, yes? The a qualcuno. So we need this a qualcuno. We need to establish to whom one is pleasing. Capito, ragazzi? So I'm going to do this for a moment. And we have done some of these already. Ragazzi, we've done some of these already. I'm not sure if you remember in the cafe lesson, ragazzi, we did this one here. Mi dà un caffè, per favore? It's one way of saying you would like a coffee. You can say vorrei un caffè. I would like a coffee. Vorrei un caffè. See? Or you can simply say un caffè, per favore. You don't have to say mi dà or vorrei. But anyway, if you want to say a bit more than just un caffè, per favore, you can say vorrei un caffè. That vorrei literally means I would like a coffee, please, per favore, or per piacere, since we're on the topic here. Per piacere. Or mi dà un caffè, per favore, or per piacere. Now that me, ragazzi, that me, my voice broke there for a moment. To me, you give. And you're being formal here with the da, so it's not at all rude. To me, you give un caffè, a coffee, please. Yes? So we already had a to me in that mi dà un caffè per favore. Mi dà un caffè per favore. See? So we're going to put that me here. And the to me is in that one word. I'm not sure why I'm leaving such a big gap here. I might as well put it here. Me. See? And that means to me. And the to and the me is in that me. Now, how do we know that? How do we know that? Because of this, ragazzi. If you have me with piace, yes, or me with whatever, whichever one of these, the fact that it's with this means it means to me, because it's to be pleasing to someone. Piacere a qualcuno. You have something which resembles that me, yes, almost perfectly, but it's in front of chiamo. Yes, just because it's with chiamo, we know that that me does not mean to me. That me means myself. Myself, I call. And that's how we say in Italian, of course. My name is. Capito? So it depends what the me is with, what verb it's with. If it's with chiamo, it means myself. If it's with piaci, piace, piace, whatever, yes, it means to me. I am serious, ragazzi, eh? Benissimo. Ragazzi, we also did to you in Italiano. We've done it, yes, and we did it with this one here. Presentare qualcuno a qualcuno. You present someone to someone, yes? And we had it just before when we were saying Francesco, ti presento Giovanna. Francesco, ti presento Giovanna. O la mia amica Giovanna, o whatever. Scusate ragazzi, I can't spell anymore. Giovanna. Sì. Francesco, ti presento Giovanna. Francesco. To you. I present Giovanna. So that's presento, presentare. Qualcuno, Giovanna. To someone. That's the T. So Francesco, grabbing his attention. To you, that's the a qualcuno, to someone. Presento is the verb, that's the presentare. And qualcuno, that's the Giovanna. Yes, to you, I present Giovanna. To present someone to someone. See, ragazzi, that to, that T, scusate, means to you. The to and the you is in the one word there. And we know it means to you because it's with presento. Ti presento. Capito? Ti presento. If it were with come ti chiami, if it were with this chiami, we know that means how yourself you call, which is how you ask in Italian, of course, what is your name? So again, the context, yes, that ti is being used with chiami, it means yourself. The ti here, yes, is being used with piaci, piace, piace, piacciamo, piacete, piacciono, whatever the combination of those is, doesn't really matter. Some make sense, some less, but you'll see it in a moment. To you, that's to and you in the same word. Capito, ragazzi? And the formale was, I have to cancellare questo, ragazzi, because now we're being formale. Yes. And the formale is Signor Dandy. Ecco il signor Dandy. See? That's just grabbing his attention. Le presento. To you, I present la signora Virgilio. la signora Virgilio. Yes, so to you I present Mrs. Virgilio. See, so that le means to you, and we put it there, to you. See, ragazzi? Notice when we were talking about we're using this verb here, what is your name formale? It is come si chiama, that was a formale. How yourself you call, but formale, formal. Yes? Here, the yourself happens to be different from the le. And it just happens to be different. See, there's no point protesting about it or whatever, it's just the way it is. So the yourself in the informale, the T and the T resemble each other. Yes, they're twins, of course, even though they mean different things. This is with chiami, this is with piaccio or whatever. But the C is actually different in the come si chiama from the le. And that's just something you learn and non c'è problema. Capito, ragazzi? Now, we have the mi, ti, le, and we will be working with these, ragazzi. You also have a to me, to you formale. You have a to him. Sorry, that's informale. Inf is informale and formale. Yes, you also have a to him, a to her, a to us, a to you plural, and a to them. Yes, but we're not doing the whole family of these. These things here are called pronomi. They have also an extra name, but for the moment, yes, they're just called pronomi. We'll come back to it properly. We won't be doing the extra ones right now. Yes, if we have time, we'll do it in the same lesson here, but later on. Va bene, ragazzi? So, repeat this. Mi, ti, and le. Le. Le, just le. We had something similar before. We had a lei, yes, and you, yes, when you were throwing back the same question at someone. A lei, that was a formale. Here it's not lei, it's le. Le. And remember, that means to you. How do we use this? That's the whole point. Yes, I mean, we were doing it just before, then it sounded quite bizarre, just going around saying piaccio. I am pleasing. I am liked. I just want to explain this to you. Ragazzi, you can actually say this, yes? Which one shall we use first? Vediamo un po'. Ok, facciamo questo. See? Ragazzi, that mi means to me. Piaci is you are pleasing. And you're speaking to someone informally. I'm serious. See? Mi piaci. Mi piaci. Now, ragazzi, that is a literal translation, yes? If you were subtitling an Italian movie in which this appears, yes, you would certainly not translate it as to me you were pleasing. You would translate it as I like you. See, ragazzi? Now, when you think about it, ragazzi, I like you. Yes, who is doing the action here of liking? Esatto, I am. I like you. Yes, but watch the Italian. You are pleasing with your beautiness, with your friendliness, with your charmingness, yes, with your fantasticness. You are pleasing to me. I am the recipient of your beautiness, fantasticness, greatness, whatever, intelligence, yes? I'm the recipient of it. The Italian actually, to me at least, makes a lot more sense, yes? So you are being the active person who is being charming and fantastic. You are pleasing to me. See, so it's the total opposite to the English, yes? Mi piaci, I like you. To me you are pleasing. And notice also, of course, that we put that to me and that to you and that to you formale at the beginning, before the verb, which is a bit strange, but you'll get used to that. Capito, ragazzi? Watch this one here. These will be good, ragazzi, if you go out a lot, if you go to nightclubs. I'm too old for that sort of thing these days. But if you go out, you may want to jot these down, because we're actually not going to be working on this, ragazzi. We'll be working on these ones here more when we do our dating and romance lesson. So we're not doing this now. I'm just giving you a couple of examples, yes? This one here. You hear this in playgrounds. It's so cute. You hear kids saying this. Yes. They say with a funny voice, Ti piaccio? Ti piaccio? What does that mean, ragazzi? Esatto. To you, I am pleasing? Yes, now that's a literal translation. To you, I am pleasing. But again, if you have to give it a proper translation in English, one which is not literal. Esatto. Do you like me? See? When you're at school and you're a little kid, yes. Ti piaccio? Ti piaccio? Oh! See the kids with each other. So again, literally, ragazzi, in English, do you like me? You are doing the action of liking. Not in Italian, ragazzi. We are saying, am I, with my friendliness, charmingness, wonderfulness, whatever, pleasing to you? Yes, you are the recipient of my charmingness, pleasantness, beautiness, whatever. Capito, ragazzi? It's the other way around. Yes, the fact is that we actually don't use the piaccio, piaci. Depends on the context, of course. Yes, if you're nightclubbing every day, you may be using this mi piaci very, very much. I don't really know. But in general usage, the piaccio, piaci, the piace formale, you don't hear it all that much, yes? The piacciamo and the piacete, you don't hear it all that much. The two which we do use all the time, ragazzi, is this one here. Piace, he, she, or it is pleasing. Basically, like, I like him, I like her, I like it, whatever. And piacciono, they are pleasing. Capito, ragazzi? Those are the two we will be working on. The piace and the piacciono. So try saying this for me. Piace, 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 piacciono, 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 piacciono. See? And of the two, people find this one here the harder to pronounce. Yes, the piacciono. Ragazzi, facciamo una pausa. Facciamo una pausa. We'll have a break. E poi riprendiamo. We will pick it up again. Pausa.